When Mark Zuckerberg started speaking and reviewing the changes, he stated this. He said, "Our goal is to give everyone in the world the best personalized newspaper as we can." So their goal is to make it more personal for you. They're putting power in your hands to decide what you want to see in your newsfeed and what you don't want to see in your newsfeed, which is really important. It's important that when you develop a tool, to keep the users in mind. That's just basic principles of simple design. Basically, the changes has been inspired by the way us as Facebook users have changed the way we use Facebook. So how has it changed? Since November of 2011, about 20 to 25% of stories that were generated on Facebook by us didn't had visual content, some form of video or photograph. But by January of 2013, that number has jumped to 50%. So we are sharing a lot more visual data than before. And they want the new newsfeed to reflect that change, to cater to it. Also, the content of the average newsfeed is made up of updates from pages and public figures that we follow. So the average amount of content that we view from pages and influential people that we like and follow has increased. So our newsfeed is really not all about keeping up with our friends anymore. We'd also like to keep up with, again, brand pages and people that we like to follow. So they have also accommodated for that, and I'll show you later how. So again, another quote from Mark Zuckerberg: "The design of your newsfeed needs to reflect the evolving face of the way we use the interface, Facebook." So that is the motivation behind the new design. So then I have taken screenshots from the presentation that was given yesterday, just so I show you things that basically, so to speak, is coming from the horse's mouth. And in this screenshot, you see the newsfeed as it is now on the left, under now, and then pretty soon on the right. And you can see that it is more visual. The newsfeed used to take only 40% of the whole view that we got when we went Facebook, but now it takes a more prominent position because that's what mattered to us. The rest of it is the rest of the material that comes with Facebook. So basically they said, we're interested in getting Facebook out of your way, which was a nice way to put it. So this is another image that Mark Zuckerberg shared, and the point of this was that the experience that you get on the tabletop, your computer, is pretty streamlined and similar to what you get on the mobile app. And then I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. Another interesting version is the choice of feed. What do you want to see in your feed? And they're giving you choices through a menu that is on the top right-hand corner when you access Facebook on a larger screen on your personal computer or on the top of the mobile app. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as well. So that, again, goes into giving the user more power as to what they want to view. Mobile consistency, again, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. This is called the global navigation that is mobile inspired. So the interface that Facebook is giving us on the tabletop on our personal computers is inspired by design of mobile apps. So the navigation is all on the left-hand side, and we'll talk about that a little bit more again. So photos, the old news feed, when someone shared a photo, Thank you for joining us. Photos in the old news feed, when someone shared a photo, it would sort of make a small percentage of the view. So if you imagine this big screen would be the whole thing that you would see on Facebook, this would, the photo would look like this in the old news feed. Now the photos look like a lot bigger in the new news feed. So when you share a photo with your friends, that photo is going to be a more prominent part of what you see in your newsfeed, which is fantastic. This is both great news for regular users who want to share their experiences in a more richer way with their friends and family, but it's also great for brands. Photo albums. They have also changed the way we share photo albums. When someone shares a photo album, in the old newsfeed, it would look like this. So if you imagine this big box would be the experience that you would get in the old Facebook. And then the photo album will look like a lot richer in the new newsfeed, which is fantastic. When someone shares plenty of photos, you can see all of them all at once. Shared articles. So this is really exciting. When one of your friends shared an article and you see it in your news feed, it basically looks like a small little thing in the whole scheme of things, if you think about this big square to be what you see when you log into Facebook. So that's in the old news feed. But in the new news feed, this is more prominent. There's more summary that is provided about the article. There's a nicer image, and also there is a logo of the publisher from where this publication is coming from. So if somebody sees an article that your friend is sharing, they enjoy it, they want to get to know the publisher better, they can click on the logo and directly go there. This is fantastic. So this is, again, wonderful for bloggers and business owners who want to who encourage people to share their articles, and their friends is going to get a more richer experience. What happens when your friend someone? You basically, if you look at this big rectangle here, this would be what you would see within the whole Facebook newsfeed that you have right now. So this is the big square, and it shows a very small part of it. So that's in the old newsfeed. But in the new newsfeed, this is fantastic in that when your friend friends someone, not only a picture of that person who's just being friended is shown, the snapshot of their timeline photo also shows, and small thumbnail images of the people that are their friends. So immediately when your friend friends someone, you can get to know them a lot better. It's a lot more efficient, it's more pretty. So again, this is a motivation for all of us to really go back to our timeline photos, banner images, and try to make them as pretty and enticing as we can, so people would want to connect with us. This is exactly the same thing when your friends like a page, which is, again, great news for businesses. When you get somebody to like your page, not only a little message appears in their friends' newsfeed, but also an image of your timeline, your logo, and which of your other friends have liked the page shows up. This is fantastic news. So again, another incentive to make that cover image enticing and engaging. The check-ins also, when someone goes into a establishment and checks in, has also been enhanced by these changes. This is the old check-in, so your friend checks into some place, and that experience is shown as this small little box within the context of the whole Facebook when you see in this big box. So that's in the old news feed. In the new news feed, you see a picture of the establishment, a map, and more information about it. So this makes the experience more richer. And again, for businesses that have a local presence, that should give you more incentive to encourage people that visit your establishment to share, to check in, provide check-in offers and things like that, because that's a great way of getting the word out to the friends of your clients and people that visit your establishment. So that's fantastic. Another great change is that when you share content or when you share your activity on a third-party app, you usually get a little bit of a snapshot of what you're doing. So for example, when you go to Pinterest and pin images, there's a sort of if you choose to, a story is created in your friend's newsfeed as to what you're doing on for example, Pinterest in this case. And it doesn't really give justice to what you're pinning. It's really difficult for your friends to get a feeling of what kind of images you're pinning. But in the new one, you get a better snapshot of what they're posting. So this is much nicer, and if you compare it to the old one, it occupies a much bigger space in this big window that is called Facebook. When a friend shares video in the old news feed, you get this little link here and a little thumbnail. So it occupies, again, a small space in the whole Facebook experience, but in the new news feed, not only you see thumbnail images of your other friends who have viewed or shared this, and also you can directly view the video right within Facebook. Again, this is fantastic, and another incentive for us to make our videos more enticing, and so people will share it with their friends. And I hope that you share this video with your friends on Facebook so they learn more about all the wonderful things that is coming their way with the new news feed. Now we go to the choice of what you can view. And this is fantastic. This, as I showed you, there was a menu on top, on the top right-hand corner of the web interface, and also on the top of the mobile interface. You get a list of things that you can decide to see. So you can choose what appears in your newsfeed. So imagine you just want to only look at things that are coming from your friends, and you want to see everything that is coming from your friends. So it's not a filtered view anymore, and it is in chronological order. So in a way, Facebook is releasing that grip on the news that comes from your friends. You have the choice. So this becomes available through the All Friends feed. Following feed, this is fantastic. This is for when you decide to see what's happening with the pages that you're following, with the influential figures that you're following, and this is great news for pages again. Page owners have always been, for a long time, complaining that our choice for sharing information with our followers in a chronological manner was taken away from us. There was a page shared. People were really upset about this fact and complained about it a lot. So now, when the new news feed comes around, then you don't really have that limitation anymore, and hopefully you provide enticing enough content with your fans so they would go there and look at their following feed to see what your page is up to. So this is fantastic, fantastic news. You also have, there's a lot of choices given in this menu that is up there. I'm just showing some of them, sharing some of them with you. And again, if you want to be inspired one day and you just want to look at photos and see what kind of photos are shared, and you don't want to look at anything else, You just go in there and choose the all photos feed, and that's all you're going to see. You don't have to see anything else if you don't want to. And sometimes, you know, you want to find, for example, you need some inspiration to see what it is that you want to share with your friends. You're looking for enticing pictures to share with your friends or in your page. You can just go to the photos feed and you don't have to look for photos anymore. That's fantastic. Another thing that was mentioned was music. That I don't have a slideshow here, but if you just want to look at what kind of music out there, what your favorite artist is up to, you can just choose the music feed. You don't have to look at anything else. So music, for music lovers, that's great. And then another great feature is that, as Mike Zuckerberg mentioned in the beginning, you get the same user interface across all devices. They all look the same. Also, you have this, as I mentioned, mobile inspired mobile navigation, global navigation, in that when you want to go to some other place on your page, you really don't have to go back to home to find it. There's this navigation menu down here that takes you to any page or place you want to go on Facebook. And again, this is inspired from the design of mobile apps to make them more functional for smaller screens. But now with the new newsfeed, you're going to get them across all devices. Now, if you enjoyed this presentation, please +1 and share it, or share it with your friends. And if you want to give me feedback with respect to presentation or anything else I'm doing on OpenSM, on my weekly shows, please give me your feedback on bit.ly/feedback_SM. So I am going to go back to screen share and give you other news. Okay, am I back? I think so. And we have a guest. Did you want to introduce yourself? No, I only see your picture. Oh, hello. How are you?
Great, Sherry. Steve Caggiano.
Hi, Steve. Do you like the new changes?
So far, so good. I was toying around with the photo drop and drag yesterday. Not a big announcement surrounding it, but a fun little interface, super useful, nimble tool. So I'm excited about what's on the table.
So you have the new newsfeed already? Or is
I do not.
Oh, okay. So you were talking about something else?
Yeah, just the photo drop and drag.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, as you know, there's also a new look to our Facebook, not Facebook, our Google Plus personal and business pages. We get a much huger photo right on the top. This is great, but it's something I have to get used to, and I wish these social networks would create a consistent size image so you don't have to create a different one for different network. I went and took the one I have on my Facebook timeline and slapped it on my Google Plus personal profile, but it just doesn't work. I'm going to have to create a new one. It's just too huge. The space is too huge. What do you think?
I haven't found a picture that fits yet, so
Yeah.
I'll have to get in there with the crop and coordinate it.
Yeah, yeah. This is huge, but I mean, it's nice that they've given us the opportunity to have a bigger one. It's a nice piece of real estate, especially for business owners.
It's
So
a good wow factor.
Yeah, and you can create like scrapbooks and collages if you like and put it there. So talking to a good designer would be a great idea too, especially for a business page. And another piece of news is that Tweetdeck was killed by Twitter. I used to be a Tweetdeck user, but I stopped using it a long time ago. So I really, I think probably Hootsuite was so much better than Tweetdeck that maybe it was time for Tweetdeck to go. What do you think? What do you use for social media?
I've got Tweetdeck, and I'm still, let's see. Yeah, I'm still getting posts from Facebook on my Tweetdeck.
Okay.
I, however, cannot post, it doesn't look like, to, well, it's giving me the option. Whether or not they'll land, I don't know. But I'm still getting the Facebook newsfeed in my Tweetdeck.
Okay, but
It's
you
still,
don't know. You don't know if you can post to
I,
Twitter or not?
I do not know if I can post from TweetDeck to Facebook as of right now.
Okay. So it brings you the feed from Facebook, but you haven't tried posting outside of it.
That's correct.
Okay. So what are you going to use when TweetDeck goes away?
Um, I haven't decided.
Hmm.
For all intents and purposes, I'll adapt. You know,
Yeah.
we'll
Well,
see. More important for me is not so much being able to post there anyway as it is to be able to listen there. And if they allow that stream to remain open, I may just preserve it.
oh,
There's no sense of urgency for me to post because I've got Facebook open on my desktop anyway, and I can easily click on a new tab and respond to anything that's happening on Facebook. What is important is that I do see what's being said, and that looks like that's being preserved for the time being.
okay. All right. What do you use to listen to Twitter conversations?
TweetDeck, TweetChat, a lot of simple searches.
Hmm.
I build a lot of lists based on conversations, hashtag streams.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, a
Okay.
lot of keyword searches. I love geo searches just for sake of building those lists.
Yeah.
The bulk of what I have built, the collections, I may or may never need to know who's. I'll never need a list. I'm confident for people on Twitter in Lebanon, Ohio,
Uh-huh.
but I've got it. You
Okay.
know, um,
Yeah, yeah, the Twitter gives us pretty much a lot of the tools that we need in terms of search, doesn't it? It has a pretty good search engine, and especially in its interface, you can search for anything, for people, for tweets. I really like it. There's a lot of functionality just within Twitter itself. Don't you think? Do you agree?
I love it. I'm a Twitter fan. I'm a huge Twitter proponent. I make the bulk of my living on that single platform.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I'm becoming a little more nimble with G plus.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but it's so easier for me to pass on work to people that I know that are profoundly adept on the platform than it is for me to stumble through.
Okay.
And just keep those relationships alive and clients benefit.
Great. Yes. What
Yeah.
do you do? Tell us what you do.
I build an audience on Twitter. I find a brand or individual's audience who they find important and relevant, and build their Twitter profiles in accordance with their specs.
I see. Okay, good, good. It's always, sometimes it's better to specialize rather than broad. You thin yourself out among all the different profiles.
I think so. Remarkably enough, it was a great letter that came out. The Constant Contact newsletter yesterday made a statement, and this was great because this is circulating now about B2B leads. That 87% of the leads that were generated online for B2B were on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter is
That,
fantastic.
that's a remarkable statistic
Yeah.
to recognize, and I could say I just stepped into the gourmet business culture, and we're looking at the space, trying to find out where the influences are, where deals can be made, where leads can be generated, and that one post from Constant Contact is, for all intents and purposes, blowing up.
Hmm.
Great stat though, 87% B2B leads, Twitter.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What about LinkedIn?
LinkedIn, I would think I can't imagine why they weren't quoted as number one.
Hmm.
Um, all I can say is I occasionally get a job through LinkedIn or a request or an inquiry,
Hmm.
but more often than not, it's somebody on Twitter It might be somebody from LinkedIn that creates a profile with an egg just to begin communicating on Twitter.
Ah, I see. Okay, so you communicate with eggs as well? Eggheads?
Yeah, their company CEO in the gourmet industry reached out to me yesterday, having had his social media team from a brand at the International Houseware Show. I had a conversation with him on Twitter. He wanted to reach out to me personally, so he had his staff create a quick profile just so he could reach out to me on Twitter and say,
I see.
Thanks.
Okay.
It's great. I hit a senior editor in the housewares industry 3 days ago, standing at a party for Kenwood, who were also just getting a feel for Twitter. Huge international brand, just setting up their digital real estate on Twitter. Sat with one of their senior editors, their managing editor, set up her profile on Twitter on iPhone 5, put in her picture, started talking to her, started tweeting with her. While we're standing at a cocktail party, she creates her accounts, tweets to the brand, they tweet back to her, and in 10 minutes from Twitter novice to hooked. And now we're engaging 5 or 6 times a day on Twitter, DMing relevant articles back and forth.
Good.
And it's...
Yeah, Twitter is the fastest way to connect.
I think so.
It's by far. Yeah, I love it. It's by far my favorite as well. But I love Google Plus because of the Hangouts. It makes like talking to people possible face to face, and I love it. I love Google Plus, and I guess each of them provides something different. Well, do you have any social media news to share? Do you know in the industry?
I'll plant a seed and I'll expand another time. A cool find over the weekend. There is a way to generate SEO on the web from mobile postings.
Those mobile postings to where?
From a mobile app, you can create an SEO relevant post.
Okay. To any platform?
It can be shared with any platform. Okay.
Okay. And you're going to elaborate later what makes it so SEO friendly?
Yeah, I've got to plug in a little more with Google, find out what permissions I need, and I want to keep the relationship alive and be a good boy and not make too many waves, and solidify the relationship, play by the rules, and preserve what we're building.
So you are building something.
It's been built. I'm not on the development side, but I've been tinkering, and we found out, again, in Chicago, that what we were doing from a booth was creating search online. People were searching for products and brands and stumbling across what we were doing via mobile. And it was a happy accident, and we hope to capitalize on it.
Good. Well, when you know more, you're welcome to come share it here.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you very much. If you'd like, you can join our OpenSM community. I have your profile there. I can send you an invite so you come get to know other speakers and other people that are part of the community. Would you like an invite?
That would be fantastic, Sherry. Thank you.
All right. Good. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and next week we're going to have a fantastic presenter. Many of people on Google Plus and on social media know her. She does a lot of good work with fighting against abuse, helping abused women get back on their feet, and she's also a social media professional, so I'm looking forward to hosting a presentation by her. So until next time, goodbye, and I hope that you share this video so your friends learn about what's going on with the new fantastic things that Facebook brought us.